Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for attending. I'm calling this meeting to order at 12:02 p.m. We are meeting today to meet in the nomination committee to review student at large applications and to hopefully start making recommendations to council for appointing them to various committees. I'll start off with a territorial announcement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories. Do roll call. So please give your name, pronouns, and access needs. And access needs are anything that you need to be able to be fully engaged with this meeting, whether it's asking people to speak up, or if you have background noise or bad internet, or if you have to leave early, just anything, please let us know. So I'll start with myself. My name is Corbett. Pronouns are he, him, his, and access needs. I am at home on my laptop, and so I have no webcam. I serve as a VP Internal and Organizational Development, and I'm the chair of the committee. Next is VP External and Community Affairs.
Good morning. It's Matt. My pronouns are he, him, his. As of right now, my accessibility needs. I'm not sure. I might have to go grab my charger in a bit, but we'll see if it lasts. I also might turn off my camera, but other than that, I'm doing good this morning. So.
Okay. Thank you. Next is psychology counselor.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany. My pronouns are she, they, and all my access needs are met. If my laptop overheats, then I'll just turn off my webcam or video, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me one second. Our IAT counselor is not here. He's not necessarily a member of the committee, but he's a volunteer. So move on to society staff. Policy research and community affairs coordinator.
Hi everyone, my name is Biri. Pronoun she, her, hers. I have internet issues today and I might leave early because I have an IEC orientation, the election commissioners. But nice to meet you again all, and I'm looking forward to more meetings. This is my first one, so I might not be really actively participating, but I'm just observing and preparing for the next meeting that we'll have.
Okay, thank you. So move on to item number 4, consent agenda, 4.1 consent agenda. Be resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. And the items within it are adoption of the agenda adoption agenda motion and matters rising from the minutes for June 18th, 2021. Do I have a mover? Actually, no, it's by unanimous consent. There's no movers, seconders. Do you have any objections? Actually, I'd like to object. I would like to move the adoption of the agenda item out of this because I want to make some amendments to it. Any other objections? Noisy road. Okay. Seeing no objections, we can say that the approval of the minutes is the consent agenda has been approved with just the approval of the minutes. Moving on to next step in the this will now be 5.1, adoption of the agenda. Be resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. Do I have a mover?
Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Do I have a seconder?
Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany. Discussion. I would like to amend the agenda to include student at large committee recommendations for, give me 1 second to bring this up. For first year engagement committee, accessibility committee, and university and academic affairs, as well as finance and administrative services committee. Do I have a seconder since I'm moving this? Or is there any other amendments people would like to make? No? Okay. Do I have a seconder?
Tiffany seconds.
Thank you, Tiffany. Any discussion on this? I can specify that I did receive some recommendations from chairs for their applications that they had reviewed. Not everyone has gotten back to me yet, but these people have. So I thought it'd be good to move forward with their appointments or recommendations for their appointments. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'll seek for a vote. All in favor, seeking unanimous consent. If you'd like to dissent or abstain, please use the Zoom raise hand feature and I will call on you to mark down your vote. Seeing no dissent or abstentions, this amendment passes unanimously. Now back onto the main motion. Be it resolved to approve the agenda as amended. I guess any discussions? I don't think so. It looks like everyone's solid on it. So we'll move to vote. Seeking unanimous consent, please use the Zoom raise hand feature. If you would like to abstain or dissent, and I will call on you to mark down your vote. Seeing none, this motion passes unanimously. Passes as amended. Okay, moving into 6.1, new business. Students at Large Committee recommendations, Events and Student Affairs Committee. Motion says, whereas 15 members submitted applications to the Events and Student Affairs Committee, whereas there are 7 open student at large seats, whereas VP Events and Student Affairs Jess Dela Cruz, chair of the committee, has reviewed the applications, submitted recommendations. Be it resolved that the nominating committee recommend to council to approve to appoint X, and X will be a list of members. Do I have a mover?
Matt?
Thank you, Matt. Do I have a seconder?
Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany. So discussion. So actually, Jess still hasn't been able to submit recommendations. So we could either postpone this one, or we can just go forward with what, if we've obviously had time to review these applications and make our own recommendations. I'm kind of leaving it up to the group because unfortunately I didn't get a lot of time to review a lot of these just because this week has been pretty packed. We technically still have another week until the next council meeting is in 2 weeks, but I would like to get some kind of movement on these things. So how does everyone feel about this particular motion? Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. So I think it would be good, maybe just to bring, like, I think the applications were intended to be brought to NOM to send our shortlist. So if we can take the week to review them and then bring back our shortlists at the next meeting, and then from there kind of have a discussion, and then bring that, and then just send that to VP events. I think that would be probably the easiest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as we know, Jess has taken a bit of time off too, so we'll have to kind of take that into account when with communicating back and forth. How do you feel? What do you think, Tiffany?
I feel similarly. If we can just take at least a week or a few days even to review the applications. Like, I'm just taking a look at the spreadsheets right now, and I think it's not too huge, so I think we can get through it.
Okay.
Rather quickly.
Sure. Okay, so I will move then to postpone this motion until the next meeting. Oh, Matt, direct response?
Oh yeah, I just had a direct response. I think I either Corbett, I think I can make like a Google Doc like folder because in my Google Drive I have folders for all of
Mhm.
the committees that I'm a part of. If it's helpful, I can create like a shared Google Doc and we can just pick our own short list and just write them all on that doc. And then when we
Sure.
come back, then we can just decide and we don't have to give any reasoning why, but just to have them there.
No, that
Um,
makes sense.
and we can do that. So I can set that as an action item to do um, at least by end of the day, and then just send it to
Okay.
and then we can all kind of look at that and review.
Okay. That makes sense, and thank you for taking that on. Yep. So in the meantime, I'll move to postpone this motion till the next nominating committee meeting, which I'm hoping we'll plan to have for same day and time next week. So the 23rd. Does that make sense? Is that available for everyone right now? Go ahead, Tiffany.
So I'm not available that day since I got scheduled in for work until after 4 p.m.
Okay. Well, and Matt?
Typically free after like around the same time on Fridays.
Okay. Sorry, Tiffany said you'd be working until 4 p.m.? Okay. Well, I don't have a lot scheduled for Friday right now, so I could even do like a later meeting if it works with you, Matt, as well.
Yeah, that should be fine. Like I don't have anything scheduled like next Friday.
So we can do something like 5 p.m. or something to give Tiffany time to get home and de-stress a little bit.
And I feel as though our meetings are pretty short, so that
Yeah.
the admin assistants didn't need to take minutes. Like they could do it the following week because our meetings aren't that long for nominating committee.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so say this again. I move to postpone this this motion until next meeting, which will occur on July 23rd, Friday, July 23rd. Okay. Do I have a seconder?
Tiffany seconds.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Nope. Okay. Move to vote. All in favor, seeking unanimous consent. If you'd like, the spiel. I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again. So yeah, raise your hand if you want to dissent or not. Seeing none of that, this motion carries. Moving on to 6.2. Basically, I was thinking just doing a group motion for just with like different just names in the committee. Fairly, just I could probably type it out in the chat, but generally, since there's 3 different committees we have recommendations with, I thought we should do it as a group just to make it faster and simpler. Unless you want to specifically talk about each committee as a separate motion. Go ahead, Matt.
So can you repeat that last part that you said? Just about.
Sorry, yeah, I've been winging this today, unfortunately. So we have recommendations for 3 different committees for the members for committees. It's not a competitive vote because there's less people applied than there are seats. And so I thought, unless we had issues with individual people on that recommendation list, that we could just do one motion for like 3 different committees all at once in a batch. Tiffany, go ahead.
I think we can just do it as a batch altogether.
Okay. Just give me like 2 minutes to type it up in chat so that we have it for staff. What I did is I emailed out, I thought I emailed this out yesterday, but I didn't. I actually made like a kind of a Google Doc list of all the different people who applied for each committee, and it's underlined if it's been recommended by the chair to make it easier for us to look through, for just for the names, and something I can send to as part of a report for council for the briefing note. So fortunately, we have not received any applications for more applications for Surrey, Vancouver, or member services. But we can focus on that later. Okay, 1 second. Almost got this done. Oops. Shoot. Ignore that first part of the whereas. I have to redo that. I hit the wrong button. Okay, yeah, that's, and then it's does that make sense? Is it kind of clean? Looks good to you? Thank you. Tiffany? Okay.
I think Carolina, though, is she just missing the committee on top? For Carolina Nguyen.
Oh, yes. Geez, didn't fully copy paste properly. Okay. That is first year engagement. So I will redo it. I'll just redo the whole. I'll just correct the motion a bit. Right. There it goes. That's the proper one. Okay. So I will read this out properly. Whereas the SFS has received applications for student at-large seats for 11 committees, whereas the nominating committee has received recommendations by 3 chairs, we resolve that the nominating committee recommends to council the following students to at-large seats for the respective committees below. First Year Engagement Committee, Carlina Wing. Accessibility Committee, Catherine Schumacher, Yasmin Rosado, and Samina Saki. University of Academic Affairs, Priyanka Desa, and Shahed Jadi. My apologies if for anyone listen to this later and hear me horribly mispronounce names. My apologies. Do I have a mover?
Tiffany moves.
Do I have a seconder?
Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Okay. Any discussion? Nope. Okay. I'll move to a vote. Seeking unanimous consent. Sorry. Okay. All in favor seeking unanimous consent, please, if you would like to dissent or abstain, please use the Zoom raise hand feature and I will call on you to mark your vote. Seeing no dissent or abstention requests, this carries unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to there's just discussion items. 7.1 committee application progress. So as you can see, we've only one committee out of 11 has had effectively a competitive election with receiving 15 votes, 15 applications for 7 seats. Everyone else has been less or equal to their amount. So, but even still, with some of these applications, it still gives, in some cases, like fills up half the number of seats or more. Unfortunately, it looks like member services, Surrey and Vancouver are not doing great with no new applications. So I think those will take, especially, I think a lot of them will all fill up for the fall, because we always get a lot more people applying for stuff in the fall because we make the recruitment and phase around club days and things like that. And I'm assuming club days is going to be somewhat physical this year, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure yet. So that'll allow us to do a lot more applications, or get a lot more applications. And also, I think we can do like targeted advertising for especially Vancouver and Surrey campus committees. Yeah, so we're kind of doing the best we can with what we have. I think it'll also be easier for us to do smaller targeted things after we start filling some seats in, so that we can like focus more on maybe 3 or 4 committees to try to fill up faster than trying to keep pushing for 11 different committees. That makes sense. But this is kind of where we're at. Any comments or suggestions or concerns or questions? Go ahead, Matt.
I think it would be beneficial for the nominating committee to also, maybe we could do this at our next meeting as well, but just to think about ways in which we can propose like recommendations for outreach and how that wants to go too, like for the rest of the summer to hopefully fill seats. But as we've seen, like every year, like there are at large seats that do get dropped, and then also sometimes like the committee compositions do change, even sometimes with folks on council, like within execs, like within swapping positions and whatnot. So I think just looking at the ways in which we can make our own recommendations to committee chairs to fill their at-large appointment seats in terms of like, working with the comms department, and then looking at to promote on social media, like which committees, and just keep pushing that. So I think that would be all right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tiffany, do you have any Comments or questions? Nope. Yeah. Also, when does everyone know when open enrollment starts? Or yeah, because I was planning to draft like a reminder email for chairs to start scheduling their meetings once like a certain time after open enrollment happens, so that people can have a better idea before the fall term happens how the fall term is going to look for a lot of students, for their members. They're both their at-large as well as counselor members, because there's probably another round of shuffling both for counselors and for at-larges, because of scheduling that no longer works for people. So the earlier we can know that, the better. But realistically, like, we can't start asking people to fill out those forms until at least open enrollment is started to occur and is kind of in swing. So July 29th. Oh, July 26th. So in 10 days. Okay. So yeah, so basically maybe for August 1st, just ask everyone to send out another round of 1-2 meets to try to start getting people scheduled for classes. Because I'm enrolled in an in-person class now again, fall, first time in a long time now. And so I actually have Tuesdays and Thursday mornings that are a little bit more, or I actually have to physically attend class now. So it's going to be different. Okay. Any other points on this for discussion? No. Okay. So we'll move to, that's the last bit of business. And so I'll move to adjourn at 12:30 p.m. Do I have a mover?
Matt?
Do I have a seconder?
Tiffany.
Thank you. Seeking unanimous consent. All in favor, seeking unanimous consent. Please unmute your mic, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I just get sick of repeating myself. Seeing no dissent or abstentions, this meeting is finished. Thank you very much for attending. You cracked up, Matt, there. Okay. Thank you all for coming. And yeah, next meeting will be on the 23rd. I'll schedule for 5 p.m. Let me know if that ends up not working, if any last minute changes or anything happen. And I'll see you all then. And also, please do, as Matt said, his action item, he'll send out a doc for everyone to put their shortlist in for the applications, and we will put that in prep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.